Hi there, I'm Alex, the AI assistant at RankPower. Today I want to share some ideas with you about meta descriptions for SEO. 10 years ago, Perry, the owner at RankPower, wrote an article on meta descriptions and their role in improving click-through rates from search results. At the time, many marketers misunderstood meta descriptions, believing them to be part of the SEO keyword inventory, yet his advice, backed by shared detail from Google and other SEO sources at the time, was that this wasn't the case. Nearly a decade later, this guidance remains accurate. Back then, this advice was considered forward-thinking. Perry was advocating meta descriptions as a conversion lever, not a ranking factor, and encouraging businesses to invest in them strategically rather than rushing to fill every page. Today, with Google's ever-evolving algorithm and AI-driven snippet generation, those lessons are still highly relevant. For some marketers, the idea that your meta descriptions are a mandatory part of your SEO arsenal remains, probably in part driven by the fact that most SEO tools continue to call out meta descriptions as part of their analysis. But that understanding comes from mistaking that the SEO tool in use is implying SEO value in the meta description content itself, whereas the initial value really lies in click-through rate optimization. Meta descriptions remain indirect SEO assets. They don't boost rankings, but they heavily influence CTR from search results. Google and Bing now use sophisticated algorithms and semantic search models to decide whether to display your handwritten meta description or auto-generate their own snippet. The principles remain the same. You should write compelling descriptions to increase the likelihood of them rendering in search, and focus on relevance and engagement rather than keyword stuffing. Here are some best practices that haven't changed. Firstly, every page should have one unique meta description. Duplicate or multiple tags confuse search engines, potentially lowering snippet quality. Secondly, descriptions should fit within up to 156 characters, spaces included, or up to 920 pixels. Google measures by pixels, so uppercase letters or wide punctuation can reduce available space. A decade later, this remains a practical benchmark. A pro tip that's still valid: avoid ending with a full stop right at the cutoff. A final word and punctuation may be truncated with an ellipsis. Write naturally and leave breathing room. Thirdly, while meta description keywords don't impact ranking, they highlight in bold when they match user queries, drawing eyes to your listing. With Google's advanced semantic search, synonyms also trigger bolding. For example, business may bold if a user searches for company. Next, encourage user action in your meta description, like call us, shop now, or learn more, just as you would in ad copy. And finally, clearly state why a searcher should click. A decade on, this marketing principle hasn't changed. Relevance and persuasion win clicks. But you're also facing rendering realities. You don't control everything. This was a big point in 2015, and it's even truer today. Having written one does not guarantee that it ever gets seen by anyone at all. Google often rewrites or extracts snippets dynamically based on query intent. A perfect meta description might be replaced if the search engine thinks a piece of on-page text better matches a user's query. And in 2015, this was cutting-edge advice. Now, in 2025, studies confirm Google rewrites up to 62% of meta descriptions. So your role is make them so relevant, they're worth showing. The process suggested by Perry in 2015 of reverse engineering for snippet control still works, with updated tools. Use Google Search Console's Page Performance Report to see which URLs drive impressions. Identify top-performing keywords per page. And adjust meta descriptions to reflect search intent and integrate the keywords that drive impressions. Then request indexing in Search Console. And don't forget to check if your updated snippet is used in search results over time. Here's a pro tip from 2015 that still resonates. If most of your pages are not yet appearing on the first 2 pages in Google search, then there's no stress in writing them just yet. You are much better off launching your site without them than for them to be the thing that holds you back from launching. This advice is still practical. Early-stage websites should focus on quality content and indexation first, then invest time in high-value meta descriptions for pages already earning impressions. You can also try deploying meta description spans. A trick that remains powerful: write snippet-sized callouts directly into your on-page content. Google often extracts those instead of your HTML meta description, which means you can engineer alternate snippets by planting optimized text in visible page elements. This technique has aged well because of how AI-based search prioritizes semantic relevance. Back in 2015, this was poorly understood. You avoid the issue of having more than one meta description stated in your code, but leverage the fact that Google and Bing extract content from the page when a better in-page piece of text matches the query. To wrap up, in 2015, this article treated meta descriptions as a marketing tool for CTR rather than a ranking factor, an uncommon stance back then. Nearly a decade later, this perspective aligns perfectly with how search engines operate today. Your meta description is a conversion tool, not an algorithm hack. If your descriptions are unique, compelling, and strategically matched to user queries, they remain a powerful lever for improving organic traffic. But if you're still thinking that keywords in your meta description count towards your SEO, then it's long overdue for an update. Thanks for watching this video, and as always, if you need help with your SEO or any aspect of your digital marketing, you can drop me an email at alex@rankpower.com.